Hello everybody, my name is Tracy Newman from the Navigator's Tarot. I'm here to do a few readings. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook, and if you would like a personal reading from me, you can find me at my website, which is sleepywisdom.com. You can also find me at Sleepy Wisdom, my channel on YouTube. Okay, we're going to look at the general energy report. This is going to be an energy report about what's going on at the moment. Huge things are going on so many different levels, but as everything begins within, of course, in this changing world, everything that is happening within each and every single one of us, the changes, the shifts that are happening, are an alchemization of fear into love, of course, that is happening. And of course, as we begin to find those the alchemization from within, we also begin to see that in our outer world, because as within, so without. Everything is just a projection of self anyway. Righto, so here we go. It's going to be a beautiful day today. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, the birds have been chirping since early this morning, and my cat is running around like a mad woman around my couch. Okay, anyway. Let's have a look at what is really going on at the moment. Oh, yes. You know, this is amazing. The card of the Fool, which is the card of innocence. It's like once you've cleared out a lot of the old and alchemized a lot of the fear that that resides within, and you come into a cathartic sense of bliss for a little while, and understanding and knowing and peace after that alchemization process. You become the Fool, which is, of course, the innocence of the truth of who you really are. Ready to take on a new day and see life for what it really is, which is miraculous and beautiful all at the same time. You know, in all of its brilliance and kaleidoscopic sort of fractalized versions of whatever, of frequency and movement and colour. Okay, so it's really interesting because a lot of us over the last week or so have been asked to go within, and usually, you know, to look within and find whatever fears are coming up for us at this moment. There's this true alchemy that is actually occurring within each and every cell in our bodies, and also too, as I said, as within, so without. Also, you know, last week in particular for me, an episode occurred which caused for me great hurt and kind of like confusion. So I had to, which, you know, brought up a lot of old trauma that needed to be looked at and worked through. So I've spent the last few days really going within and you know, looking at the, you know, feeling the feelings and going through the trauma, the old traumas that needed to be released. And you know, I had this absolutely overwhelming urge, which I've always had right from the start of my Kundalini awakening 23 years ago, of intense fear and wanting to run, you know, just wanting to leave everything, leave my house, leave everything, and get on a plane and head over to the mountains in Nepal or somewhere where I could just sit and meditate and just let this world go. But you know, I then, with that fear process and that fear, that instance of fear that came up, it was like, I want to run. I went, hang on a minute, just have a look at this. Just sit with it for a minute, even though it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. So, you know, I sat and I you know, went through that, just listened and got very present, and just did some breathing and really got present in my body. And then I got the message that do not run, even though that is what you want to do. You want to run, of course, because this fear is overwhelming and you want to just run. But I didn't. I sat, and I actually got the message that when you sit in presence and just breathe and get right into your body, into the cells in every single one of your body, and you begin to really feel the vibrancy of that, some sort of peace comes in and moves in and shifts that fear out. And it's like, this is true alchemy. Sitting in your fear and allowing it to transmute into something akin to love is absolute transmutation and hugely transformative. And of course, that is what is going on for a lot of us at the moment. You know, wanting to run, wanting the fears that are coming up in everybody. And, you know, sometimes it can, and you know, most of it will be from old traumatic events that have happened, either past life, this life, doesn't really matter. The core of it will be within somewhere, and it is up to us to go within and find the core of what is causing that fear. But I can tell you from past when I had the spontaneous Kundalini awakening many years ago, I used to have uncontrollable urges to run out in front of trucks, you know, and I remember even sitting in handover one morning in a very closed room with people all around me, you know, like I was a nurse and we were getting handover, and the fear, because, you know, the Kundalini doesn't wait for anything and it just blasts through your body. And so when you've got a clear fear, it just comes through at any given moment and you have no say over any of it. You know, they don't look at it and go, oh, you're having handover at the moment, I'll come back at another time. No, it just races through your body. And so the fear was so intense and it was coming up through my body and and I had this overwhelming urge to just like get out of the room, and I couldn't, because I literally couldn't. I would have to climb over these bodies to get out the door. And I had to sit with it. And, you know, I just had to breathe and wait for it to pass. And you know what it did? It came up through my body and it left within a minute. But holy shit, that intense minute was, I can still remember it. It was terrible. But you know what? I actually began to realize after 4 years of constant, vortexes of energy coming up like that, fear, whatever coming up, sadness, uncontrollable bouts of crying, all that sort of stuff, I began to actually just relax into it and surrender to it, because what I began to see was that this was an alchemization process that was happening, and the alchemization of that fear into love and the truth of who we really are happens because the soul is saying to you, you're living a lie. You need that old part of yourself. It needs to die. Now, I don't care whether you've got lots of past lives and all that sort of shit that you have never dealt with. We're dealing with it. We're doing it now. And you just have to run with it and go with it. And it's like the best thing that I could do was surrender to the process. Very hard to do when you're working as a nurse. But anyway, I did. And actually it kept me alive, I think, working as a nurse, being distracted and just doing what I had to do. But this happens because your soul is saying, you're living a lie. You can't live like this anymore. You need to transmute. You need to transform. This is your soul. You are not this 3D body. You know, you were given this vehicle so that you could actually transmute these energies that are here right now, that are asking you to be, asking to be transmuted and transformed. And if you are feeling any kind of intense fear at all, that is your soul saying you need to die. I'm not saying physical death. The old, outdated, fear-ridden self needs to die. And you have to allow for that process to happen. You can mask it any way you want. You can, through addictions, through, addictions to sex, drugs, whatever. It doesn't matter. Money, the 3D matrix world, it makes no difference. When that fear comes up, eventually, no matter how hard you try to stop it, it will come through like a freight train and you will have to deal with it. You know, the best thing you can do is just allow. And that is what is going through a lot of us at the moment. This transmutation of old energies, even though it's intense, very, very fearful. I had it the last few days. But, you know, sitting in presence and allowing brought me into this state of absolute peace and love. which is what we all are and what we must all return to. That is actually occurring right now. And I had to sit with it. And oh my God, you know, that message that I got, this is true alchemy. When you sit and allow and really feel what's going on. So we have the card of justice. This will bring justice. And you know, the card of the Queen of Wands. She is a woman that she is the true alchemist, really, the Queen of Wands. She is charismatic, usually a very charismatic, beautiful, feminine energy that comes through. And it's interesting that it's come in with the card of justice as well, because that energy is within each and every single one of us. And what that energy is actually saying to us is, you need justice. And the way that you can provide justice for yourself is to meet yourself on every level and inquire. You know, you are your own court. You have your own court. You are your own judge. You are the one who actually is the one that actually can go in, provide justice for the self by questioning absolutely everything, questioning your fear that comes up, questioning why you allow any of these sorts of things to sort of overtake you, and or why you allow the dumbing down of the truth of who you really are. And your soul now is requiring justice. So it's asking you to take account for the many, you know, even though I don't like the word sin, you know, it's kind of like any sins that you have actually committed upon yourself. Nobody else has done this. I mean, you've done this for yourself. And, you know, your soul is requiring justice now, and asking you to go within and to find your own truth. But to do that, you must be extremely truthful with those fear-ridden bastardizations, I would say, of self that you have been for a millennia. But now, you know, you're in court, and the judge is not going to let you go. You can be incarcerated by fear all your life if that's what you truly wish to do. You must be your own judge and your own juror. But at the end of the day, they want you to take responsibility and accountability. The judge wants you to take responsibility and accountability. And as I said before, you are your own judge, you are your own juror. And it is you that must decide whether you'll be incarcerated by fear or will go out into the community and your own community of self and for those around you, and become the truth and the love and the transformed person that the judge truly wishes you to be. The Empress, and to alchemize into this beautiful Empress-like energies of nurturing and self-love, you know, and also the Empress means fertility. This is an amazing time on this earth plane right now, and this is a very fertile time for the alchemization of the truth of who you really are, and to be here right now and to have this opportunity to alchemize, you know, everything within you is a magnificent occurrence that, you know, can never ever be repeated. And yeah, it's an amazing thing to be here on this earth right now, to do this and to watch what's going on. So what I would say to all of you is to go within and allow the transmutation to take place, allow the fears to come up, allow the sadness to come up, to be expressed in any way, shape or form that it wishes to be expressed, and to alchemize, allow the alchemization process to occur. And as you begin to do that within your own body, then you'll begin to see those changes on an outer level in your relationships and also to within the world structure. Okay, so that's all I have for today, and I shall see you again next week. Bye for now.